Hello students, welcome to Biosphere. Dive into the science of life. Today we will start the NEET biology series. We will do the human reproduction chapter from class 12. We will do today the first part, that is male reproductive system. Okay, so we will learn in this topic the human reproductive system. This chapter is very much important as many questions comes in NEET from in previous years. Okay. So before going to the main topic, we have to first learn. Actually, if we see introduction, if we see that reproduction, what is reproduction? The production of formation of new offspring from its parents. That is called reproduction. Now, reproduction can be two types. One is a sexual mode of reproduction. Second is sexual mode of reproduction. As we will study the human reproduction, so we will focus on sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction means presence of two parents is mandatory. Two parents will be there. But in asexual reproduction, there is only one parent that is sufficient enough to produce new offspring. But for sexual reproduction, two parents is mandatory. Okay. So first we will learn the sexual reproduction, some character. Okay. What are the some characteristics of the sexual reproduction? If we see in sexual reproduction, maternal and paternal gamete from maternal side and from paternal side fuse. So due to this maternal and paternal gamete fusion, there is genetic recombination, and due to this genetic recombination, there is chances of variation. Okay, and from this variation ultimately lead to the evolution. So in evolution, two type of people will form. One is stronger ones, another is weaker ones, and third class sometime that may be intermediate one. So stronger one or the intermediate one will survive, whereas the weaker one will vanish from the earth. Okay. So by this process, this species will goes on improving because day by day their weak ones will perish or vanish. Only stronger one or the intermediate one will stay. Okay. Now, if we see the sexual reproduction process, it is actually a complex process. It is complex process. Also, it is a slow process. Means it does not take place rapidly. Okay. If you see for the case of elephant, their gestation period is for 22 months. Okay. So this is a slow process and it takes place only in favorable condition. If there is unfavorable condition, then there will be no sexual reproduction. And in this case, for sexual reproduction, only small number of offspring are produced. Okay. So these are the characteristics of the sexual reproduction. Now we will start the human reproduction. So if we see first human reproduction, so it is a form of sexual reproduction which result in formation of a child. Okay. That is called human reproduction, and this typically involves the sexual intercourse between a man and woman. Okay, there will be sexual intercourse between men and women, and there is resulting in a conception of a child. Okay, now human reproduction are passed through some events. That events are we will study this event in our later part. Okay, but in this part we will only cover the male reproductive system. So that events are first is gametogenesis or the formation of gamete, then insemination means entry of sperm into the female genital tract, then fertilization that is fusion of gamete and formation of zygote. Then next step is implantation. It is the development of blastocysts and its attachment to the uterine wall. Then gestation, that is embryonic development, and at last parturition, that is childbirth. Okay, we will go this event one by one. in later part. Okay. So first we will start today, that is human male reproductive system. So these are the part we will go each part in later slide in the same part. Okay. So if we see first, this is testis. Okay. This is testis, and this testis is covered by scrotum. Okay. And this part, this is epididymis. Okay. Then after epididymis, this tube-like structure, that is vas deferences, and these vas deferences join ultimately in urinary bladder. Okay. Then this portion, this is seminal vesicle. Okay. And this portion below the urinary bladder, that is prostate gland, and at the back side this is anus. Okay. And the front side, this is penis. Okay. We will go each part in later slides. Okay. First, if we see the sex organ, this sex organ is located in the pelvic region. Okay. This in male reproductive system, the male sex organ are located in pelvic region, which consists of a pair of testes. Okay. Along with accessory ducts. Okay. Glands and external genitalia. External genitalia here is penis. Okay. Now first is testis. So if we see, testis is singular form, testicle are plural form. Okay. So testicles are a pair of soft, smooth, oval, pinkish male primary sex organ. Okay. So these testes are soft, smooth, oval, pinkish male primary sex organ. Now these testes are suspended outside the abdominal cavity. Okay. These testes are suspended outside the abdominal cavity in a pouch. That pouch, if you see, that is blue color, that is called scrotum. Now, the what is in your mind, one question will come: what is the function of scrotum? Okay. First, it maintains the low temperature of the testes, because low temperature is necessary for spermatogenesis. And if we see the temperature, that is 2 to 2.5 degrees centigrade lower than the normal internal body temperature. Means if our body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade, then these testes need 2 to 2.5 degrees centigrade less temperature. Okay. For its spermatogenesis. If temperature will be same, that time there will be no spermatogenesis. And this scrotum also protect the testes from mechanical injury. Okay. So scrotum is also protect our testes from mechanical injury. Now the scrotal sac, the cavity of the scrotal sac is connected to the abdominal cavity through the inguinal canal. Okay. So that scrotal sac, which consists of the testis, is connected to the abdominal cavity through the inguinal canal. Understand? Now we have to learn about the content of the spermatic cord. What are the content? Okay. That is artery, vein, nerve, vas deferences, and other tissue. Okay. And this runs from abdomen down to each testicle through the inguinal canal. This is so. If we see the content of the spermatic cord, that is again, that is artery, vein, nerve, vas deferens, and other tissue. Okay. And this spermatic cord runs from the abdomen down to each testicle through the inguinal canal. Hope it clears. Now this testis is held in a position by a sac, because this testis was placed in this position in the scrotum sac by two things. One is gubernaculum and another is spermatic cord. This is spermatic cord, and in lower portion, that is gubernaculum. That is See, this position is gubernaculum. These gubernaculum are actually the fibrous cord. These connect with the testis with the bottom of the scrotum. Okay. So gubernaculum is nothing but a fibrous cord which connects the testis with the bottom of the scrotum. Now, if we see the internal structure and the function of testis, we will go through. One is spermatogenesis and another is production of testosterone. Okay. Spermatogenesis, the formation of the spermatids from the Spermatogonia mother cell. That is called spermatogenesis and production of the testosterone. Okay. Now, first we have to see the histology of testis. If we see the testis is protected by two protective layer. Okay. That is first outer layer, that is tunica vaginalis, which consists of epithelium and connective tissue, and another part is inner layer, that is tunica albuginea, which consists of the fibrous connective tissue. Now, if we see that the tunica vaginalis layer, which consists of epithelium and connective tissue, actually it covers the testis, and this tunica vaginalis is a pouch of serous membrane. Okay, that is peritoneal layer. Whereas tunica albuginea or the fibrous connective tissue, if we see that it extends inward to form septa that partition the testis into lobules. Okay, so testis is divided into septa. That division of the septa due to the partition, and this partition is formed by that tunica albuginea. So we have learned that testis has two layers. One is tunica vaginalis and another is tunica albuginea. Albuginea actually divide the testis into different lobules. Okay, and tunica vaginalis is the outer layer. Now seminiferous tubule. If we see the seminiferous tubule, there are already we have learned that this tunica albuginea divides the testis into testicular lobule. So there are nearly 250 testicular lobule in each testis, and each lobule contain 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubule. Okay, you have understand. So 250 testicular lobule, and each lobule consists of 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. And this seminiferous tubule is lined by germinal epithelium. Okay, so this red color is our germinal epithelium. Now, germinal epithelium consists of undifferentiated male germ cell that is called spermatogonial mother cell. See this red color, these are the spermatogonial mother cell. It also bear, this seminiferous tubule also bear the nourishing cell that is called Sertoli cell. See, this is Sertoli cell. See that poison structure, that is Sertoli cell. Okay. Now the spermatogonia mother cell produce primary spermatocytes which undergo meiosis. Okay, and ultimately lead to the formation of spermatozoa or sperm. This process is called spermatogenesis. So spermatogenesis, you have now understand what is spermatogenesis. That is formation of spermatozoa or sperm. Okay, from spermatogonia is called spermatogenesis. And spermatogonia, if you see, that is 2N. Whereas spermatozoa or sperm, that is N or haploid, but spermatogonia is 2N or diploid cell. Okay. Now there is also Sertoli cell. Sertoli cell, where it is present? It is present in seminiferous tubule. See, this is Sertoli cell. This Sertoli cell provide nutrition to spermatozoa or the sperm. and it also produces a hormone that is called inhibin. Now inhibin inhibit the secretion of FSH. FSH means follicle stimulating hormone. So inhibin also inhibit the FSH. Now the region outside the seminiferous tubule are called interstitial space. See, outside the seminiferous tubule, the region are called interstitial space. This is the interstitial space. Okay, and this interstitial space consists of Leydig cell, cells of Leydig or Leydig cell. Both are same. Okay, cells of Leydig or Leydig cell, both are same. Now this Leydig cell produce androgen. Okay, so this Leydig cell produce androgen. Out of that, the most important one is testosterone. ঠিক আছে? For male, that is testosterone. Now, what is the function of testosterone? Testosterone control the development of male secondary sexual character and as well as spermatogenesis. So, development of male secondary sexual character and spermatogenesis are controlled by testosterone. Now, the seminiferous tubule, already you have learned what is seminiferous tubule. Now, seminiferous tubule, see this is seminiferous tubule, 2 to 3 highly coiled structure. This seminiferous tubule open into Vasa Efferentia. Okay, this is open into Vasa Efferentia through Rete Testis. This is Rete Testis. Okay, now in your mind, what is Rete Testis? Rete Testis, if you see, it is present in mediastinum. Okay, it is present in mediastinum testis, which is actually the mass of connective tissue at the back of the testis. See, this is mediastinum testis, and in mediastinum testis there is presence of the Rete Testis, and through this Rete Testis, seminiferous tubule connect with the Vasa Efferentia. Now you have to understand what is cryptorchidism. Okay, cryptorchidism is actually the undescendant testis. Here, testis actually does not descend from abdomen into scrotum. So this is called cryptorchidism. And here, testis does not produce sperm. So ultimately, if male does not produce sperm, so that time that male will be called as sterile. Now, Vasa Efferentia. See, this is Vasa Efferentia or the Vas Efferensis. Okay, so this seminiferous tubule connects with Vasa Efferentia via Rete Testis. Already we have learned in before slide. So this is written here. The seminiferous tubule open into Vasa Efferentia or the Vas Efferensis through the Rete Testis. Now, what is Rete Testis? That is, if you see, this is our Rete Testis. It is a network of tubule in the testis which carry the spermatozoa from seminiferous tubule to the Vasa Efferentia. Just already we have learned, we learned the definition in this slide. Now Epididymis. See this black, this red color, that is Epididymis. So if you see, epididymis is located along the posterior surface of each testis. In every testis, so we have two testes, so that means we have two epididymis. Okay, so it is a narrow, tightly coiled tube. Means the Vasa Efferentia leave the testis and open into a narrow, tightly coiled tube that is called epididymis. Okay, and this epididymis is located on the posterior surface of each testis, and this provides the storage for sperm and gives sperm time to mature, because the that is the sperm that is produced. See, already you have learned the spermatozoa or the sperm produced via process of spermatogenesis is immature one. Okay, so it needs time to be mature. So it gets its time in epididymis. Okay, now epididymis differentiated into three regions. One is head or caput epididymis, second is body or corpus epididymis, and third is tail or coda epididymis. Okay, this, if we see, this caput epididymis receives spermatozoa via Vasa Efferentia in mediastinum testis. Okay, so first from Vasa Efferentia, if we see, the epididymis gets the sperm. If we have to say the particular position, that is actually the caput epididymis or the head of the epididymis, which receives spermatozoa via Vasa Efferentia of the mediastinum testis. Now, after Vasa Efferentia, next part is Vas Deferens or Ductus differentia. So, it is a these Vas differences. See, this is Vas differences. This yellow color. So, it is a long, narrow muscular tube. Okay, and this long, narrow muscular tube starts from the tail of epididymis. Tail of epididymis is called tail epididymis or coda epididymis. So, these vas differences or ductus differentia starts from the tail of epididymis or coda epididymis. Okay, and these vas differences is lined by pseudostratified columnar epithelium, and there is lamina propria. This lamina propria actually are the areolar connective tissue. You will learn what is areolar connective tissue. Already you will learn in the class 11 module. Okay, and these vas differences pass through the inguinal canal into the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. Okay, so see this yellow color. These vas differentia passes from the through the inguinal canal. Okay, into the abdomen, and there it loops over in the urinary bladder. These vas differentia or the ductal differences also receive duct from seminal vesicle. Okay, this is seminal vesicle, that black color one. So this vas differentia or ductus differentia or vas differences receive duct from seminal vesicle, and this, when it also receive the duct from the seminal vesicle, so together the vas differences and the duct of seminal vesicle together form a short ejaculatory duct or ductus ejaculatorius. Okay, this is called ejaculatory duct or ductus ejaculatorius. Now ejaculatory duct, the see, this is ejaculatory duct. Two ejaculatory ducts converge into the center of prostate and open into urethra. So there is two ejaculatory ducts which converge into the center of prostate and open into the urethra, and it carries sperm from vas differentia and fluid from seminal vesicle. Okay, you already learned that seminal vesicle also join in Vasa Efferentia into urethra, which transport the sperm to outside. So if we see the passage of spermatozoa, means how spermatozoa move. So maybe from this passage or from this portion also many question comes in previous years. So if we see that from first seminiferous tubule, from there spermatozoa move into Rete Testis. From Rete Testis is move into Vasa Efferentia, and from Vasa Efferentia it ultimately moved into Epididymis. From Epididymis it move into Vas Deferens, and there it move into ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct means Vas Deferens plus duct from seminal vesicle. From ejaculatory duct it went to urethra, and from the urethra it went to the vagina of the female. Okay, so this is the total passage of the spermatozoa. Now urethra. Urethra or urogenital duct is a shared terminal duct of why shared? Because of reproductive as well as it is a part of urinary system. So it is a shared terminal duct. Okay, and this urethra or urogenital duct originates from the urinary bladder and passes through penis, and it opens outside by an external opening that is called urethral meatus. Now penis. This that is male copulatory organ, and this penis is actually present in extra abdominal region, and this penis serve as a urinary duct as well as also intermittent organ that transfer spermatozoa to the vagina of the female. Okay. Now penis have three column of tissue. First, that is corpora cavernosa. Corpora cavernosa, if you see this black color. Okay. Corpora cavernosa are paired upper present on upper side and present also in dorsal side. Okay. This corpora cavernosa consists of special tissue and is also have the space that are filled with the blood. And this bottom section means on the ventral region corpus spongiosum is present. This corpus spongiosum has has only has singly present, and it present in ventral side, and this corpus spongiosum also possess the urethra. So these two type of tissue, that is corpora cavernosa and corpora spongiosum, help in erection of penis to facilitate the insemination process. Now penis, we have to learn the gland penis. Okay, at the tip of the penis, corpora spongiosum, already you know what is corpora spongiosum. So at the tip of the penis, corpus spongiosum is enlarged and form a bulbous structure. Okay, that bulbous structure is called the glans penis. Glans penis actually covered by a skin that is called purpose or the foreskin. Now male have some accessory genital gland. That those are seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and Cowper's or the bulbourethral gland. Both are same name. Cowper's gland or bulbourethral gland. Both are same. Means one gland has two names. First is seminal vesicle. That is a pair of simple tubular gland, and that seminal vesicle present posterior inferior to the urinary bladder. Okay, on the back side. The seminal vesicle secrete one alkaline viscous fluid which form the 60% of the semen. The semen consists of 60% of the secretion of the seminal vesicle. That is alkaline viscous fluid. That fluid contains fructose, protein, citric acid, inorganic phosphorus, and potassium and prostaglandin. Fructose is used for the rape test. Means if fructose found on the vagina, that time we get to know that there may be a sexual intercourse. Okay, and this fructose also act as a main energy source for the sperm outside the body. Okay, outside the body for sperm, this fructose act as a main energy source. Now seminal vesicle, we are continuing. That is, we have mentioned the same thing on the before slide. Now prostaglandin. Okay, prostaglandin cause the mucous lining of the cervix to be more receptive to sperm. Okay, prostaglandin actually the secretion of prostagland. Okay, this should be on the later slide, but somehow it was placed in the before slide. Okay, so prostaglandin cause the mucous lining of the cervix to be more receptive to sperm, as well as by aiding the movement of sperm. Means It help the movement of sperm towards the ovum with peristaltic contraction of uterus and fallopian tube. Okay. Now, prostate gland is a single gland, and prostate contribute 60% of the semen consists of the secretion of the seminal vesicle, and 15 to 13% of the semen constitute are produced by this prostate or prostaglandin. Okay, and this prostate gland present below the urinary bladder, and the fluid from prostate, if you see, that is clear and slightly acidic in nature, and the this fluid activates the spermatozoa and provides sperm their nutrition. Okay, and last, this is the just last part, the last accessory gland of the male, that is Cowper's gland or the bulbourethral gland. Okay, this bulbourethral gland present below the prostate gland. Okay, at the beginning of internal portion of the penis, and this bulbourethral gland or the Cowper's gland secrete an alkaline fluid. This secretion, actually the function of the secretion is to lubricate the urethra and act as a flushing agent. Okay, because this secretion of the bulbourethral gland washes the acidic urinary residue present on the urethra before ejaculation. Okay, this Cowper's gland or the bulbourethral gland washes the acidic urinary residue present in the urethra before ejaculation. Okay, see, this urethra are the shared terminal duct of reproductive as well as urinary system. So, due to a shared part of the urinary system, there may be a chance of presence of acidic urinary residue. So, the secretion of the Cowper's or bulbourethral gland washes that acidic urinary residue before ejaculation. Thank you.
Hope you have liked the session. If you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Any doubt, feel free to ask in the comment box. I will definitely reply. See you in the next class.